You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. Minor Family Dentistry would like to bring you the following dental health tip. It's recommended to have a dental checkup no later than your child's first birthday. An adult should brush for a young child and monitor older children's brushing to ensure a good job is done. Flossing should start when teeth are touching. Minor Family Dentistry wishes you good dental health. Families, including children of all ages, are welcome. Minor Family Dentistry, 1010 Downing and Hayes. Find them in the Next Tech directory.
Stop! Where are we going?
The Sternberg!
Don't get left behind. We're waiting for you here at the Sternberg Museum, where there's always new opportunities for
Discovery under the dome.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of early childhood grants for USD 489. And with me today is Ken Loos. Good morning, Ken.
How are you?
I am awesome. It's cold outside. It's the holiday season. But before we get to that, tell us, Ken, what organization do you work for and what do you do there?
You bet. I work for High Plains Mental Health Center. I'm the manager of community prevention, education, and outreach. High Plains is both your community and regional mental health center. We cover the 20 counties of northwest Kansas.
Oh, so you're busy doing a lot of traveling around, you think?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
Right.
There's a little travel.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned it's December and everybody's in the holiday season and everybody thinks this is the happiest time of the year. But I also know that it can be one of the most stressful times of the year. So we're going to talk a little bit about seasonal stress and how it can affect your family. So tell us about seasonal stress.
Well, seasonal stress is one of those things that there are external factors to it that we don't have control over, and then there's some things that we do control. Just in general, I think this time of year, we start to get kind of unrealistic in terms of our expectations. Mm-hmm. And people who are working full-time, staying busy with the kids, suddenly they are expecting maybe to host the perfect holiday party. They're expecting to have this great family get-together. You've got to hand quilt something for somebody within 5 minutes. And it's just a lot of kind of stress on top of things. So I think at this time of year, to take into consideration, there are a lot of external stressors. Some people are dealing with maybe divorce for the first time, a death in the family, a major loss, and those first holidays we know without a loved one can be especially tough. But then there's also those kind of things we bring on ourselves, the expectation that everyone's going to get along perfectly, the expectation that, or maybe the thought that money is not really limited. And it can really make a family situation kind of miserable in the merry season, and that's something that we want to try to control.
It seems like you still have all your regular activities and your regular responsibilities, but you still have to bake 24 cookies for the Christmas party and those sort of things. Yeah. 24
cookies for the Christmas party. Again, the hand quilting thing. Yeah, it just adds to all of this. And so I think part of it is just to really be realistic and patient with ourselves, to really think about things. The things that we do throughout the year, writing down lists, organizing, sticking to a budget. I know it's tough to ask for help because whenever we ask someone for help, they might say no. That's kind of one of those difficult things. But when you realize that there's just no way you can get everything done, when you realize that you've just really gotten to a point where you have to reach out, communicate that openly. Where none of us are mind readers. And I think, again, sometimes this time of year, we expect people to know what we need when we need it, and that's not realistic at any time of year.
I know in this day and age, even through social media, I know we've had some incidences in my family here personally, and I was almost surprised and overwhelmed. I put out a kind of a plea for help, and I had so many friends, people that I really hadn't expected that would maybe that stepped up and really just helped us out of a pinch. So I think sometimes it is hard for people to ask for help. You want to think, I can do everything, I can do it, and all of a sudden you think, oh, maybe I can't. So I think asking for help is really important.
It's very important, and I think when you can ask for specific help, that's the other thing. When someone wants to help, if it's too nebulous, if it's too wide open, it just never goes anywhere. But if someone says, I really need you to run to Dillon's, or I really need you to help, pick up the kids from school. Could you run this errand for me or do this for me? Now people will step up because it's something specific, it's something discreet, they get what's being asked of them. And I think most people, and at least in Northwest Kansas, most people want to help. We just maybe don't know how. Or again, if someone doesn't ask, we have no idea that there's a need.
And I assume there's probably lots of people out there that do not feel comfortable asking for help, but that's a great suggestion to, ask for those specific things. Now, most of us have friends and family, but I know there's people out there that either they don't have friends or family around, or maybe they do, but they don't feel comfortable. What other options are there out there for people who are feeling really overwhelmed, are feeling really down during this Christmas season or any season?
That's a great question. I think a couple of things. First is, again, to start with being realistic with yourself. You may not be up to doing a lot of socializing. You may not want to, depending upon the situation in your life. But try not to completely isolate. Try not to completely lock in with yourself. Go to those things that you can go to, whether it's a special church service, whether it's some kind of a concert or community event. Do those things. And even if you can't stay for an entire event, participating a little bit is a big deal. The other thing is that if you find yourself really kind of struggling, and one of the things about folks who struggle this time of year too, Dana, is that they're kind of afraid to say anything. They don't want to ruin the day or the event for anybody else. But it is important to reach out, again, because we're not mind readers. Reaching out to your family doc, to your nurse practitioner, to someone in your faith community that's a very good listener, or, in situations where someone really feels like they're struggling, there's some suffering going on, reach out to your local community mental health center at High Plains. Information. There's nothing to be embarrassed about asking questions, and information really is power in terms of knowing by no means are you alone, and there's so many things that can be brought to bear to help.
Say there's someone who's saying, it's Christmas time, I'm struggling to buy things for my children, I certainly can't afford a mental health treatment plan. What would you say to that?
Certainly we know finances are very tight. Good thing with any community mental health center in the state of Kansas. First, we accept most major health insurance plans, but we also have a sliding fee scale for those who live or work in our 20 counties in Northwest Kansas. So again, there's a situation, no obligation, call High Plains, talk to someone there. You can right there find out exactly how much a session would cost if you can afford that. The other thing to realize is that sometimes I think people are afraid of mental health services. They think it'll never end. And a lot of individuals just need a handful of sessions to feel better, particularly if it's something that there's a lot of external stress or holiday stress involved. And once that time is gone, things start to look up a little bit better, things get a little bit better.
Ken, thank you so much. Any final words?
No, I think, again, just happy holidays to everyone, and don't hesitate to ask for help or to reach out at this time of year. I think, again, sometimes that feeling you don't want to ruin it for somebody else, but most of us have a big heart, want to help. We just maybe don't know exactly how to do that.
And a lot of times when you're on the other end, it makes you feel good to give someone a helping hand, especially at the holiday season. So thank you, Ken. We'll put the number for High Plains Mental Health Center on the bottom of our screen, so you can call that if you need any further assistance. You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
Thanks for watching You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You can watch the program weekdays in the noon and 9 o'clock hours. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.